In this topic, we're going to look at the probabilities involving two rolls of a die. So I'm going to pay attention to right here where it talks about event A, which is the sum is greater than 7, and event B, the sum is an odd number. So in order to figure out the probabilities of these events, what you need to do is first understand what's going on. So in the problem up here, if I look at the paragraph, it says an ordinary die is a cube with numbers 1 through 6. So you might be more familiar with the word dice. Dice usually implies more than one. So if it's only one die, it's a die. And if it's more than one, we call it dice. It says, imagine that such a die is rolled twice in succession and that the face values of the two rolls are added together. And then it says, this sum is recorded as the outcome of a single trial of a random experiment. So we're looking at the sum, and we're talking about a die, and it's rolled twice. So basically, all you're really doing is thinking about is what do the two dice, when you roll them twice, what do the two numbers add up to? And let's look at a little table here to help you understand the problem a little bit better. So if you look at this table here, right, we have two dice. So let's represent this here. These are the numbers 1 through 6, and those are the numbers that appear on each die. And then the same thing over here. So these are the numbers that you can possibly have on a die. So those are the only possibilities, 1 through 6. There's no other numbers that exist. So remember, they're saying that it's only one die and you're rolling it twice. So let's just say that this will be roll number 1, and I'm going to call this one over here roll number 2. For example, let's say I roll a 1 and a 1. Well, in the table, that's what they're showing you here. They're saying that this is one possibility. You can roll a 1 and a 1, and let's say I do a 1 and a 2. Well, a 1 and a 2 would be this pair here. If I roll, let's say, a 6 and a 6, then that would be represented by this here, a 6 and a 6. That's a possible roll. And basically, you can see these are all the possibilities you can have if you roll a die twice. And that's it. And we're not interested just in each number, but we're interested in the sum of those two numbers. So let me show you another table which shows you the sums. And you can see here that if I roll a 1 and a 1, if I add those two together, it adds up to a 2. If I roll, let's say, a 6 and a 4, that adds up to 10. If I roll a 6 and a 6, that adds up to 12. So again, all these numbers in this table represent all the different possibilities you can have if you roll a die twice and add up the two numbers. So I'm going to refer to this table to answer the questions. So let's look at event number A first, and it says they want you to find the probability the sum is greater than 7. So when I add the two dice, I look at the rolls, the possible rolls that add up to greater than 7. So in my table, I can mark that. So a number greater than 7 would be if they add up to 8. So I know these would be some possibilities. If they add up to 9, that's another possibility. They can add up to 10, 11, or 12. These are all the different possibilities where the sum is greater than 7. So notice the other ones that I did not choose are either 7 or less. And now to get a probability, we're going to look at how many times was the sum greater than 7. So I count out each of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 times. So the ones that I marked in green, there's 15 different possibilities, different outcomes where they add up to a number bigger than 7. And then now I got to add up how many total possibilities there are. So remember, the total possibilities would be everything up in here, because we don't count the other numbers. We don't count these numbers here, because those are the different, we're just showing that those are the different outcomes for each die. So if I were to add up all these different possible outcomes, so represented by all this that I'm highlighting in yellow, so these are all the different possibilities you can roll out. The lowest number you can roll is a 2 when you add them up, and the highest sum you can roll is a 12. So if you count all these that are shaded, there's a total of 36 possibilities. Therefore, this is my probability, and it says write your answer as an exact fraction. So I'm just going to simplify it. I know that these are each divisible by 3. That's the greatest common factor, and I would get 5 over 12 as my probability for event A, such that the sum is greater than 7. The next probability is event B. It says the event B is find the probability that the sum is an odd number. So keep in mind, everything that I have highlighted right here. So I'm highlighting, these are all the different possible sums inside here. So they're saying out of these possible sums, which ones are odd numbers. So basically the odd numbers would be like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. And in this case I can see that my odd sums would be 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and that's it. The ones that I did not mark are evens, and we want the probability that the sum is an odd number. To get the probability, I'm just going to take the total possibilities, which I know there's 36 different possibilities. That's the bottom number. The total possibilities that you can add up to, and when you roll up the die and add them up. And then the top number is going to be, what are we interested in? In this case, how many of them added up to be an odd number? And I just got to count all the green ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So you can see there's a total of 18 different possible ways that you can add up to an odd number out of the 36 possibilities. I can see that the greatest common factor for 18 and 36 is 18. So if I divide them each by 18, I get 1 over 2. So that means that the probability of event B such that the sum is an odd number will occur 1 out of 2 times, or half the amount of times. And that's my probability as an exact fraction. Just remember that the top number is the event, right? What are we interested in? And then the bottom is the total outcomes. So the total outcomes would be the bottom number. Good luck.